Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new writing vlog. So it's been a minute since I uploaded a writing vlog. The last one was the beginning of April. So a month from when I'm filming this. It's currently April 7th, so about a month. Hi, welcome back. So April did not go as planned. I ended up getting sick, which was obviously not planned, and then just some other stuff was going on, so I literally only wrote for 3 days. It was not an ideal situation. I did, however, get most of my goals done, not to the extent of which I wanted to get them done. By the way, if you've missed my previous writing vlogs for this year, I'll link the playlist down below for you guys to check out. So the main goals were to brainstorm PEI book, work on the character profiles for PEI book, and loosely outline PEI book. That was my initial intention to potentially apply for a Canada Arts grant this month with this project. Spoiler alert, that's not happening. But I did brainstorm a little bit and I did start the character profiles for PEI book, but I did not loosely outline. Did I loosely outline? Now that I think about it, I actually might have. I guess I did do that. So I did all my goals for April. Again, just not to the extent that I wanted it to. I wanted to complete the outline, but I did loosely outline parts of it, so I'm considering that a bit of a win. But we're now in a new month, we're in May, and we are not working on PEI book this month. Maybe I'll try to squeeze it in at some point, but the main goal is to return to my Starstruck inspired YA novel, What You Mean to Me. So if you guys missed the last writing vlog, or if you just need a little bit of a refresher, I did send What You Mean to Me to a few beta readers, and I asked if they could get it done within the month, and 2 of them have finished it. One is setting some time this week to work on it, so hopefully they'll get feedback to me soon. But the main goals for this month are to review that beta reader feedback. I've already looked at the feedback from the 2 people who have finished it, but I haven't taken notes on anything. I did a little bit of brainstorming with them, or discussing things with them when their notes came in, and ideas are flowing. They're percolating in my brain, and I'm excited to further review their beta reader notes. The next goal is to come up with a revision plan for draft 4. Just really taking the beta reader feedback and figuring out how I want to implement it. There's a couple of things that I need to brainstorm a bit further, because I think one or maybe both of them did suggest kind of fleshing out the flashback scenes a little bit more that I was implementing, which I believe is something that I asked for them to look out for, because I knew that since it was such a new addition into the draft that they read, that it would need some more work, and I knew it wasn't as strong as it could be. I knew that I could implement it more. So I have a lot of planning to do for the revisions. I don't think I'm gonna make a whole revision outline or anything. I actually don't know how I'm gonna tackle these revisions. We'll figure that out when we get to it. And then I would like to at least start draft 4 of What You Mean to Me. So we're already a week into the month and I haven't done any writing. I've kind of just been catching up on everything that I couldn't do when I was sick and trying to, get back into the swing of things a little bit. I was focusing on some YouTube and some reading and just some other things. But I did make a spread that I haven't done all year, and it's one of my favorite writing spreads to do in my bullet journal. For some reason, I just haven't done it yet this year. It just never crossed my mind to do it. But it's where I write down all of the chapters so that I can track my revision progress. And maybe, maybe this is the key to feeling better about my revisions, more productive, because I get to cross out and color in each of these squares when I finish a chapter, and it's really motivating. So I don't know why I haven't done it for the previous drafts that I've been doing. I don't think I've done this for any draft of this book, which is a real missed opportunity, because I simply adore filling in all these squares. So I have 58 chapters. I in no way think that I am going to complete the entire draft this month, but I would like to work on this as much as possible. Isn't it so cute? I'm obsessed with it. So I need to remember to use this spread more because I like doing it. But yeah, so the goal for today, I am going to the States in about 20 minutes with my mom because I have a package I need to go pick up and I'm very excited about it. I will unbox it with you guys later. But after that, I would like to start reviewing some of the beta reader feedback. I'm gonna wait to look at their inline comments. I was looking at the comments as they were leaving them, and I know that they left some proper notes, not just reactions, but I'm gonna wait to look at those until the last beta reader is finished reading the book so I can just look at all the notes at once. So I'm just gonna be reviewing the emails or messages that they sent me with their feedback, just kind of taking notes, seeing what similarities there are in their feedback, and just kind of coming up with some preliminary planning. I'm assuming that the other beta reader is going to be saying pretty similar things to these other 2, so I feel okay going into the feedback. So that's the plan for today, is just some preliminary really looking at the beta reader feedback and just organizing my thoughts a little bit, writing down any ideas that might come to me or the ideas that have come to me since looking at their notes that I haven't written down, which is really bold of me since I have a terrible memory and I tend to forget things. So hopefully I remember everything, or hopefully I have the ideas in like a text thread somewhere with them. But anyways, I'm super excited to get to working on my writing goals, and I'm really hoping that I can turn a new leaf, is that the saying? Turn a new page, if you will, with my writing this year and try to get motivated again and inspired. If you've been following these vlogs, the creativity has been at an all-time low, which is why I'm struggling so much with my other project, PEI book. Yeah, mental health has been really affecting the creativity and the inspiration. This was expected, but I also think it's my surroundings as well. If you don't know, we are currently staying at my grandmother's house while our new house is being built, and this is just not my vibe. It's very dark in here. There's like no overhead light, and I'm like an overhead light kind of person. I know that's kind of controversial, but I like a lot of light, and this room is very dark because like all the wood paneling and the aesthetic is just not here, and it's very messy because we've got boxes everywhere, which I try to block out of the frame as much as I can. But I think that being in this house and being kind of discombobulated, I don't have my desk. I'm using the desk my grandmother already had. Just not having all my things and being in an environment that's not very inspiring to me is just kind of hindering my creativity and my inspiration, I think. And I think it's affecting my mental health about as much as I thought that it would. Going into living here, I knew that it was going to be affected. I think I was just hoping that I would overcome it. So we're going to be here for probably another like 6-7 months. So I've got to figure it out at some point. I think we've already been here for like 10 months, so your girl has just got to figure something out. Anyways, I'm gonna sit down and maybe try to get a little bit of work done before my mom comes home. But yeah, I will try to update you guys a little bit later. Okay, I picked up the package. It's time to do an unboxing. I did open it, but I haven't like looked inside yet. It was just kind of too hard to open to do it on camera, but I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. I feel it. Stop. Oh my god, it's stunning. It has the postcard inside. It says, "You are cordially invited to the Saint Empire's 10th anniversary gala, August 14th, 1926, the Saint Estate, 201 Convent Ave, Harlem, New York." Look at that. This Ravenous Fate comes out August 6th. So, stop, it's beautiful. Okay, so this is an arc of this Ravenous Fate by Hayley Dennings. If you guys don't know, that's Pages of Hayley here on YouTube. She doesn't really post too often anymore, but I'll link her channel down below anyways. But she is one of my like oldest booktube friends. Like, we've been friends since the beginning, and so to like have her book in my hands, that feels so surreal. Like, oh, are you kidding me? This is a book about black vampires set in Harlem, New York, 1920s. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Stop, I'm so excited for her. Like, look, she's right there. Oh my god, this is so crazy. Stop. Oh my god. So this was sent to me by the publisher Source Books Fire, so thank you so much to them. Completely forgot to say that in my complete joy. Stop. Her dedication is for black girls everywhere. You are enough. I love that. Oh, and there's content warnings. We love that. Oh my god, I am so excited to read this. But yes, this book comes out in August, so definitely check it out on Goodreads. I'm gonna leave all the links down below. I need to find a home for this on my bookshelf. I have no idea where this is going to go. Like, literally no idea. I am so excited. Okay, so it's now May 14th. I don't remember what the last update was. I think I was doing some brainstorming, writing things down, going through the beta reader notes. I think that's what I was doing. I honestly have not written in a couple of days. So here we are. I have done some brainstorming. I went through the beta reader feedback that I had from my 2 friends who have finished the book, and I'm still waiting on one more beta reader to finish. But I do believe that she has now gotten past Act 1, so that means that I can work on Act 1 once I kind of do more brainstorming and like figure everything out, because I think for some reason what I've been like struggling with when it comes to revisions for this book in the past couple of rounds is that I'm like planning the the revisions, but I'm not doing it to the extent that I normally would. So I get into the document and I start revising and I forget things because I didn't properly plan things out, or I get to a scene that I wanted to add but I didn't like properly outline the scene I wanted to add, and so I'm just sitting there at a loss at the keyboard, unsure of how to implement the scene and how to write the scene, because I'm an avid outliner and I think I've just for some reason forgotten to do that. There's a really tiny bird in the tree. That was so cute. So I'm trying to do better about that going into this. So I'm really trying to figure out what needs to be in Act 1 of the book, revision wise, based off of the notes that they gave me. So that's what I'm kind of trying to figure out right now. I started a new piece of paper for specific flashbacks that I need to add in. I think it's mainly Chris that I need to add flashbacks in for. No, Maisie too, I lied. But Maisie in general has more flashbacks currently in the book than Chris does, so I need to build his up a bit more. But I did come up with a plan for his flashbacks today because it just makes sense for his character and for kind of like the avoidance style that he has going on in terms of his past and the decisions that he's made, that the flashbacks wouldn't be as in full force as Maisie's are at the beginning, that maybe they would come to him in like small snippets because he doesn't allow himself to think about these things too much. So I think that I need to figure out exactly what I want his flashbacks to be, especially about a specific certain thing, so that I can implement small snippets of it at the beginning of the book and then eventually have the full force scene happen. I'm trying to find in the document a scene where he does have a full-on flashback reminiscent of something to do with his band that he left to go solo, and I can't find it. It is a new scene. All the flashbacks are new to draft 3 and I don't remember where it is in the book, so I'm trying to find it and it's proving to be a little bit difficult. I have no idea at what point it comes in. I'll find it eventually, but I need to find that scene so that I can make sure to like reference parts of it, maybe bulk that one up a little bit as well to make it hit a bit more. Yeah, I don't know where that scene is, so I do need to find that. But yes, like I have general scenes that I want to add in. I just need to like actually sit down and plan out each individual scene, plan out exactly what I want to happen, because I really struggled with the flashbacks in particular in this last round of revisions, because my planning was kind of like do a scene like this and then I just wouldn't explain exactly what that scene was going to entail. So I need to hunker down and properly do that. But I would like to start working on the actual revisions soon, so I want to mainly focus today on Act 1, things that need to be implemented into Act 1. I think I'm gonna let myself go into the Google Doc that I sent my beta readers and read their comments for Act 1 and see if they wrote things in there that they didn't specifically mention in their notes after reading the book, so I can address those as well. But I really want to make sure that I get all of the use of my little revision chapter tracker. I'm really happy with it and I really want this to be a well-used spread this month. And since we're already like halfway through the month, this does need to get used at some point. I have just been sitting here for a while trying to do some brainstorming, but I also like procrastinated by like cleaning my desk and organizing my desk drawers and stuff. So it's time to like actually hunker down and do some like good productive work. So maybe what I'll do right now actually is go through the beta reader comments in the actual document for Act 1. So basically up to the point where my friend last left off. She was reading it a little bit earlier, so I need to go through those, look at the comments, maybe take some notes on their comments if there's something that's like specific that they've mentioned, and then maybe I'll try to do some further brainstorming on these specific flashback scenes. And maybe I should like, okay, thinking out loud here, maybe I should take a piece of paper I love writing things down and really plan out like act by act what I need to do and what I need to implement, so it's more organized than just having like a piece of paper where everything is written down. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So this is gonna be where I write all the flashbacks in general that I need to add in, separated between Chris and Maisie, and then I'm gonna take another piece of paper and I'm gonna write down act by act what I need to do. Here's paper, let's get to work. Okay, it's now almost 9 p.m. I did some work and then I paused for dinner and I've been working since dinner. I did go through all of the Google Doc notes for Act 1 and I took a bunch of notes, which you can't really see, but I took a bunch of notes planning out everything that I need to do in Act 1 and I've pretty much got it figured out. I'm actually really excited about it. I also talked to one of my beta readers who finished the book already and kind of discussed an idea with her, so I'm really excited about that. And then I was sat here and I realized that I've kind of avoided doing world building for this book. And you're like, Brittany, you do contemporary, what do you need to world build? If you've not been on my channel, like watched my writing videos before, I do world build for my contemporary romance books, and that's because I need to know where things are, especially with this book, since they're driving to a lot of different places throughout the book. I kind of need to know where everybody lives and where all the locations of the places are, because not every location, I'd say most locations in the book are made up. I just made them up. Like I made a diner up, a karaoke place up. I kind of need to figure out where they would potentially be in the context of the rest of the book, because it does take place in a real city. It takes place in Vancouver, and so I need some anchor points. So there are some real places, most are made up, but I need to figure out where everything is, and I didn't do that. One day I will learn that I should do this earlier in the process. You know, I understand why I don't do it for the first draft, because the first draft is usually just like a mess of me trying to figure everything out, and I also just don't pay attention to descriptions and everything in the first draft. That's just not how I write, so I never do it for the first draft, and I get that from my process. I get why I do that. But for the second draft, I really should make it a priority, and I really should learn that I need to do this earlier, because now I'm sat here about to go into draft 4 and I'm like, is this book even plausible? Like, are the places that they go to, does it make sense for them to be able to drive from point A to point B and have that make sense? So there might be some liberties taken with this book. But I've been on Google Maps a lot trying to figure out where certain places are. I need to figure out where my characters' houses are. I also need to figure out, and I think I figured it out, where Maisie's workplace is. And then I need to figure out where the diner is and where the karaoke place is, and there's also a record store. I need to figure out where all of these places are, and I need to make sure it's realistic enough in my head for them to drive to these places, plus also to the real world places. Yeah, I just need to make sure that there's an air of realism here, because obviously the book is set in the real world, and so it needs to make sense, and I don't want somebody to sit down and read this book and be like, Brittany, did you even put a single thought into this book? So basically since dinner I've been sat here trying to figure everything out. I can't even tell you how many Google Maps and like random tabs I have open trying to figure this stuff out, and it's kind of getting really exhausting. So I think I'm gonna stop for tonight. I want to get some reading done today. I need to make this a priority in later drafts. So like the next book that I revise, because I'm revising my book AMS later this year, and that only has one draft. So Brittany, note to self, do world building before you do draft 2. Just saying. But yeah, I'm really happy with the work that I did today, and I think that I should be able to jump into Act 1 once I figure out all these little world building details, because I'm gonna need to like infuse them into the book and like descriptions and things like that. Yeah, but since it's 9 p.m. I'm ready to kind of call it a night. I've done more work today in this than I've done in quite a while, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. And I'm gonna spend my night reading, which I'm really excited to do. Okay, it's a couple of days later now. I meant to finish up the world building stuff yesterday, and then I ended up not doing much of anything yesterday. I edited a video, I didn't do any reading, and I didn't do any writing. I was really tired because I stayed up till 4 in the morning reading a book, so here we are. But it is currently Thursday, and I'm trying to resume and finish this world building, but I've really trapped myself in a bit of a corner here by procrastinating and forgetting about the world building specifics until we're at draft 4 of the book, because there are certain things that are kind of set in stone at this point that affects where certain things are, that is becoming unrealistic the longer that I try to do the world building. I hope that made sense. I'm still trying to figure out exactly where Maisie lives, where Christopher lives, because they need to live semi-close together, but they also can't be too far from where Maisie works, because there's a part in the book where Maisie goes from her house to her work to Christopher's house, and with the way that I originally figured it out, because the other day I figured out where Maisie lived, or I thought, but then I was looking at it, for her to go from her house to work, back to like her house or like to Christopher's house, it would be like 40 minutes there and back each way, and that's just stupid. That's just so stupid. So then I tried to find her a house that was closer to her work, so it would be less of a nuisance to have to come back. But now I need to find where Christopher lives that can't be too far away from Maisie, because I think in my head, like, we never actually see her traveling from her house to Christopher's house. I guess she always just walked, but now that's unrealistic. But then if she has a car, then there's just a lot of little things that I need to figure out, and I don't quite know how I'm gonna figure it out, and it's kind of giving me a bit of a headache, and I have nobody to blame but myself. Like, this is nobody's fault but my own. So I'm literally on Google Maps trying to find random streets where I can try to see if there's a house that kind of fits what's currently written in the book, and I really don't want to work on this past today. I want to start actually getting into like the meat of this book. Okay, I'm gonna try to return to this. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not gonna lie, I started this clip specifically to avoid continuing doing this for at least a few minutes because it's just driving me insane. Okay, I still don't have everything figured out exactly as I need to have it figured out, but I have it figured out well enough that I was able to map out a timeline for the book, because I also have not done that. And like, okay, I have a timeline-ish, but like I don't have like hour by hour for like the main day that the book takes place over. So I've now done that with the proper calculations of how long it takes them to get roughly from place to place, and it actually works out. This is something that I actually have been worried about for a couple of drafts, and I've just kind of been putting it off, but it all checks out. Timeline wise, it all checks out. It makes sense. They can do everything that they need to do and do it on time, and that makes me feel pretty good. I do still need to figure out where one person lives, because we visit another person's house, one of their friends' houses. So I need to figure out roughly where she lives to figure out how long it takes them to get to her house. I think it'll be fine. I'm feeling a bit better about things for sure. But yeah, I need to learn. I need to learn to do this before we get this late in the process, because this is a headache and it's not as good as I would like it to be. I'm gonna be real honest about that. Okay, so it's now the next morning. That's a lie. It's the next afternoon. It's 2:30. Why am I trying to lie to you guys? That was unintentional. I'm sorry. It's the next afternoon, and I've got a lot of writing things on the agenda for today. It's basically my intention for today to be the last kind of preparation day for the revisions on Act 1. We're just focusing on Act 1 to begin with, since that is what I have all 3 beta reader notes for, primarily at least. So we're just gonna kind of work with what we got at the moment, and I want to make sure that today is the last prep day because it's Friday, and I want to take the weekend off. I don't like to write on the weekends, so I need to work really hard today so that I feel good taking the weekend off and then coming back to it next week and starting these revisions. What does that actually entail? What is the final prep that I need to do? So I decided, I think last night, that I am going to draft up a couple of flashback scenes in their entirety. Now, will these ever appear in the book in their entirety in the way that I'm intending to draft them? Maybe not, but I just feel like I need the full background of what happened, and it's not enough to just write out kind of like, oh, like this happens and that happened, and then just write the like snippets that go along with that. I want to know everything. Like, I want to go in depth with it. So there's 2 main things that I want to draft up, and they're both breakups of sorts. So there's the breakup between Maisie and Chris. I don't think in the way that the book is currently I ever fully like explain what happened between them, so I really want to sprinkle that in there. And I was talking with one of my beta readers about it, and she suggested showing a lot of it from Chris's point of view because she feels that it will help his character and help the readers understand him a bit better, and I agree. I actually have a few things I need to draft because I want to draft the scene, or at least I want to try to draft the scene from Maisie's point of view while also drafting it from Chris's point of view. That way, whatever snippets I decide to pull from this scene into the book, I can pull things from both of their POVs, because I feel like whenever I think about the flashbacks, my brain automatically just kind of goes to Maisie, and I think that's because I always kind of consider my like girl main characters as like the main characters, so my brain just automatically defaults to Maisie, which just isn't fair. Christopher deserves his flashback times too, you know? I already know the flashbacks lean more heavily towards Maisie, so I'm gonna try to write them from both of their POVs because I think that that would be quite beneficial, and I'm really nervous about it. Like, I'm really nervous about it, so we're just gonna have to see how that goes. And I also have a plan roughly for how I want to integrate the breakup into the book in the flashback scenes. I think it's going to be starting out very small, just small little snippets of them remembering things, and then kind of eventually getting bigger in bigger chunks as they're kind of hashing things out with each other and figuring things out. So that's gonna require some puzzling for me to figure out exactly when to drop more information. I've also talked about that with my beta readers. So I'm gonna try to figure something out, try to see how it feels. I might reread the scene that we were talking about inserting it into and see where I think that would fit well. I'm just worried about like info dumping or giving this information too late in its full scope, or it's just, oh, I'm very nervous about it. But that's like the first breakup thing that I needed to address. The other one is between Chris and his band. And in draft 3, I did put in a little bit of the band breakup, but I feel like it's not enough. I want to expand upon it, really dig deep into those feelings, and just have like the full scope of it written out, and then decide how much information I want to actually put into the book. But this is another one that I'm going to slowly sprinkle through, mainly because it's something that Chris is avoiding thinking about. He doesn't want to reminisce on it. He doesn't want to sit and think about his actions. Snippets of thoughts will like kind of invade his brain, and then he'll kind of push them away and say, I don't want to think about this, I don't want to linger on this, and he'll try to distract himself with something else until all of a sudden it comes in like this big wave and he can't push it away anymore, and he can't avoid it, he can't ignore it. I'm really excited to kind of sprinkle that in, but I need to draft the full scene. So I need to find where the scene is in the book, which I found the other day, and I don't know if I wrote it down anywhere, which I probably should have done, but I need to find that scene again, see what I wrote, and then just try to expand it and make it bigger, and then decide how much I want to sprinkle through. And another main point for wanting to draft these scenes fully and have them in a separate document is so that when I do sprinkle these things in, I don't have to keep trying to find where the scene is in the book, and I don't have to try to think of like consistency things. I can just have it all in one place to pull into the draft at different points. So I'm already kind of nervous about consistency because I know that I mentioned the breakup a few times between Chris and Maisie, and I really don't want to reread the book again. I really don't. So that just might have to be something that I check for when I reread the book later before I send it to beta readers again. But I'm excited but nervous to figure this out. But that's kind of the main thing that I'm going to try to do entirely today. So we're going to see how that goes, because we all know drafting is not my favorite, and I'm basically taking these scenes brand new. There is somebody skateboarding down the street, and I don't want them to see that I'm filming. This is really awkward, so keep moving. I hate having to film in front of a really big window. Anyways, he was kind of cute. Okay, that's the main thing that I want to do today. We're gonna see how that goes. But then I also just kind of want to review all of the revision plans, just to make sure that I for sure have everything planned, have everything that I want to do, so that I can seamlessly and easily jump into revisions next week, because we are like halfway through the month, just over halfway through the month now, and I do want to make really good progress with the revisions. Ideally, I would like to have all of Act 1 finished. We're gonna see, but I don't want to rush it, and I'm very nervous, and I'm feeling a lot of emotions, and I'm really excited about these flashbacks that I'm going to be adding in and drafting today. I'm just nervous about them. So we're gonna see how this goes. This is the last day of this vlog. Wish me luck, and let's get to it. Okay, so now days later. I thought I ended out this vlog, but I can't find the clip anywhere. I'm currently editing the vlog. Can't find the clip anywhere, but I could have sworn that I ended it, so maybe I just deleted it. I don't know, but here we are. So just to update, I did draft parts of the 2 scenes that I wanted to draft, the 2 flashback scenes. They're not perfect. They're not exactly how I want them to be. I also did not finish them. I can't remember now why I did not finish them, but I know that I didn't. So I will have to go in and just kind of finish those up a little bit and make sure that they're really good. Just letting you know, I did at least start the drafting process for them. So thumbs up for me. That's good. But I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. If you did, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. Comment down below and let me know what you've been up to writing wise recently. I would love to know. Subscribe if you have not yet already, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.